Welcome back, Sales World. This is Ready, Set, Sell with your co-host Donnie Wong and Michael Ciervo.
What's going on, everyone? So happy to be here. Actually, I feel like I'm in a club.
We got that club vibe going on here today.
I know. It reminds me of that episode years ago, or that show years ago, Keys to the VIP.
What a legendary show.
I know.
Absolutely legendary.
You know, one of the things I got about that is you're going into a social environment and you got to sell. Not necessarily sell a product, but you're selling yourself. And as salespeople, that's really what it's all about.
I think that's why we're really picking up the club and the house party vibes, because that is really like the playoffs, the professional playoffs of a social setting.
Right.
It's high energy. People are going to be on their own agenda. There's going to be booze involved. Your mastery of a social setting is really within these parameters. You nail this, you're a pro.
Yeah, you know what? And it's not just going in there and attending the event. There's mentally getting yourself ready, getting yourself, in full character. Once you're in there as a salesperson, you're on, right? So, let's spend the next 10 minutes about how to win that day, that event. So, how would you do it?
Well, first and foremost, I actually own a club. We bought it right before my 23rd birthday. So I bring that up because one of the best mindsets to have when entering one of these high octane social events is act like you own the club. Act like you own the building. Act like you own the party. Not in this braggadocious type of way, but more in a sense of, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been hosting people for 10 years. I just wanna make sure that we have a good time here today.
Right.
How are you doing? How are you doing? What are you guys here for? Ladies, what are you here for tonight? It really brings a very calm type of cool, collected confidence to your swag.
Right. And, even just getting ready to pretend you own the club, because I love that, because I would walk in and I felt like I owned the party. You want to be that life of the party in a very subtle way, not that arrogant guy, because the actual owner might be like, who the heck is this guy? It's not really, this is my party here. But even before I step into a networking event, I would have to get myself mentally ready. And I know that you did some exercises, kind of like layups or practice drills before you actually went into that social setting. What did you do?
I love this, because the big thing about making sure that you're ready for the event is the warm-up.
Right.
And a lot of people, they don't take this part seriously. Not everyone can just naturally run into a room and just start blasting, meeting everyone, taking names, being the life of the party. I think most people aren't like that. But what I did, my workout routine was, once I left the house, was to talk to everybody. Talk to the Uber driver, talk to the 7-Eleven clerk, talk to people on the street. Now, I'm not trying to make this big, long conversation and wow everybody with these great lines and jokes and whatnot. I'm really just getting into the practice, the warm-up of talking to people. Hey, how you doing tonight? How was the night tonight? Hey, if I'm talking to Uber driver, hey, what are the 3 questions you hear the most from people?
Right.
What's the one sign you know that this is going to be a terrible drive? And it's the whole practice is just getting into warming up to just talking to anyone.
Right. I completely agree with that, because I think it's so important just to get into character, into the mood. Now, once you get into the social setting, whether it's a house party, a club, just even a dinner party, something along those lines, for me, I position myself a certain way. Like, I would always stand right near the door so that when people are entering, I'm the first person they saw. I remember when I used to go to clubs, I would stand right by the door. Initially, I would sit way in the back because you want to be that cool guy, and then realize, just overseeing everything. One, it wasn't that cool. I didn't meet a lot of people, but when I was at the front of the door, as they walked in, they saw me. I imprinted my image on them, whether good or bad. And at some point in time, if I had an opportunity to meet them with the intention of connecting with them, oftentimes they're like, yeah, I remember. I saw you at the beginning of the night. How's it going?
What I actually love about that most is that not only are you at the front of the door, but when people are coming into this party, this club, their anxiety's raging, right? They have the questions, I got to look cool. I got to look a certain way. And then they walk in and they see you.
Right.
A warm, genuine smile that greets them. And it gives that first impression of, hey, this is a friendly place. Later on down the road, and a lot of times I'm sure you're going to add in a compliment or a comment, hey, the drinks are over this way, what are you guys here for? That really sets the tone for them. And of course, they're going to remember you later. Hey, that was a super friendly guy in the beginning.
Right, absolutely. And, even just setting the tone in general, I know you do something different. You actually show up a little bit early. Tell me why, you show up a bit earlier.
if I'm in the mood to really talk to people tonight, I want to talk to everyone and I want to meet some new friends, I'm going to go there super early. It kind of goes against the grain of fashionably late.
Right.
I'm extremely early. So I don't even mind being the very first person there because it gives me time to talk to the host.
Right.
When I talk to the host, I can kind of get stories behind little pieces of decorations inside the house, pictures of when they went on vacation, figure out why are you throwing this party. I might even get a little insight about who is coming tonight. So when I do meet you, there's so much more we can talk about. Hey, the host actually told me about you. Is it true that you broke the record for hot dog eating in minus 30 degrees? I thought he was bullshitting. Yet here we are.
Yeah. And then so you meet this guy who loves to eat hot dog, or girl who loves to eat hot dogs. The obvious thing is to say, the obvious thing is like, prove it. Show me. But it's interesting because you're in this social setting, and really the goal as a salesperson is to sell the moment, sell the experience, and allow them to open up. There's some interesting questions and techniques that you can do. I mean, what are things that you would do just to break the ice?
I think one of the big ones that you and I, we just both came up with this at the same time, almost the Spider-Man meme, where they're pointing at each other. Hey, you're me. We both said it, and this is actually one of our favorite questions to ask: is how do you know the host?
Yeah.
How do you know so-and-so? That is one of the most bulletproof, ironclad icebreakers that you can use at a private function, and especially at a house party.
Right. And even it's just like, who invited you? How did you hear about this event? Something along those lines, because it's not so intrusive. I'm not interrogating you. It's a third party or third topic that we're talking about, together. And so, I love that. The other things are like, how do you remember names? That's a challenge as well.
Yeah, this is a great one. I think the classical school of thought is to use their name a few times in a sentence. That works really well. Another thing is usually they'll introduce. Usually there's kind of a group of people, twos, threes, fours, right? Or if it's just one-on-one, as soon as they tell me, "Hey, I'm Michael," we shake hands. All I'm saying to myself is Michael, 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 Michael. I'm just repeating it, machine gunning it in my head. This might be more of a multitasking move because I'm actually listening to you while I'm repeating Michael, 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 and whatever you say, I might just the very next thing, hey, Michael, tell me this. And then I'll just kind of ask you a question about exactly what you just said. Right. Really helps me remember the name, but also instantly engage you in exactly what you just said. Showing interest, but at the same time, hey, I'm genuinely interested in knowing you. A
technique that I used many times is just ask them, how do you spell your name? So even if it's something as simple as Donnie, I would say, hey, is it Donnie with an I? And they're like, no, it's Donnie with a Y. I was like, oh yeah, I know someone with a Donnie with an I. It's just to reinforce that. And I would just ask the question, how do you spell it? Because sometimes you might hear the name, but you're like, I don't know if I heard it correctly. So it's just a very simple way. Just ask them, how do you spell your name?
Yeah, I love that. I think one of the big things also is once you get to understand and remember people's names, you get to start hearing stories.
Right.
But the big thing that you and I both agree on is when you start introducing, when you have enough memory and recall and not getting too drunk is another big thing.
Yeah, huge.
Not getting too drunk. We'll touch that in 2 seconds. But if you can get to the party, really be genuinely invested and interested in the people at the party, remember the names, the final piece, one of the biggest pieces is introducing people to other guests of the same party.
I love doing that because all of a sudden, even if I just met somebody, if I meet somebody 5 minutes later, I'm like, hey, by the way, have you met so-and-so? Now you're that connector. Everyone loves to be connected with that person who's the bond, the glue. Like they like to be connected with that person. And initially you're just adding value, free value by breaking the ice with other people. The other thing I do, Donnie, is I would excuse myself if I get enough information. I go to the washroom and take notes. I don't know if you do that.
I do that too. Especially, I do this more with when I'm at social working events, networking events. I'll type it out. I'll write it out for sure. I think you said one earlier. I love this one where you said you take a selfie with them.
Right.
Powerful. Love that.
I would do it. I would tell them, hey, look, Donnie, I've met 100 people. I'm going to forget. If you send me a message, I might wonder, like, who is this person? I might forget. So I would take a picture and take a selfie. The other thing is if I get the person's number, I would immediately, right away, send them an email or a text or a Facebook request right away because they're that important that I want to connect with you.
Very cool. Very cool. I think it's also worth saying that the easier ones is, hey, if you got their Facebook, if you got their Instagram, take the time to go through the pictures, like, leave a good comment, engage in their content. There's no better compliment than truly engaging with what they're putting out.
Right, absolutely.
Engage with their brand.
You know, the other thing I would mention is, as a salesperson, you're coming with business cards. The last thing you want to be is that guy who's just handing business cards all over the place, because it just doesn't seem genuine. I would wait right at the end when someone says, hey, do you have a business card? Versus, here's my card. And so that's one thing I would never do. Sometimes I would even just have 10 cards with me. You don't want to have a stack. I'd have 10 or 5 cards, and I would save them for the most worthy people. It's just for myself. And I'm like, this guy's worth it. Here's my card. And the other time I would just ask them what their numbers are.
That actually works really well. Not coming with the entire clip of cards. Bring 3. You got 3. Bring them out to the 3 most important people, or I should say the most deepest genuine connections. Right. Give the card then. Listen, guys, we're out of time. We're out of time for this week. But if we even gave you a little bit of value, if you guys enjoyed this show, all we ask is that you invite one friend, one person to this show. Once again, this is Ready, Set, Sell with Michael Ciervo and Donnie Wong.
Take care, guys. Good luck selling.